bailed coming down those stairs. I was unconscious. It's one thing to fall, but to hit your head so hard, you're unconscious, because there's that awkward phase where people go, I think he's unconscious. And then someone has to get up. At the NYU talk I did, I got pepper sprayed, and the thing about being pepper sprayed is you go, how do I know this isn't acid? So there's this overwhelming fear that you're going to be that guy on the cover of National Geographic, and it just says like the face of free speech. And you have like a weird nose. They kept chanting, screaming, whose campus, our campus, whose campus, our campus, again and again and again. I don't even know what that means. Whose campus, our campus? Yes, it's your campus. Debate over. I think it says on the flyer, like, visiting speaker. I'm not moving here. Gone. As soon as you shut up, I'm gone. In fact, don't you want me out of here? Why don't you just zip it and we'll get through this? So I walked over to them and I gave one of the kids a microphone, set a bunch of microphones, and it was like a radioactive phallus, really. And I'm putting it up to the guy's face, and as I get closer to him, he just starts going like that. I'm like, did you predict my analogy? It's a microphone still. I haven't come up with the radioactive thing yet. And as I get closer, he's like, who's camping? And then I would take it away, just like those readers with the isotopes. They go click, 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 click. And so I would take it away from him and he'd go, whose campus, our campus? And then I would get closer and go, whose campus? And I realized these guys don't care about ideas. This is just fashion to them. It's just the mods and the rockers fighting in Brighton Beach. It's just a game. It's LARPing. It's live action role playing. And that's unfortunate, because America was built on ideas. America was built on people hashing out stuff. And it's a very unique place. It's funny that Republicans, especially in New York, you feel this need to apologize and go, I'm sorry, I'm not racist, it's not racist! But there's no other culture like that. Like, you can't imagine a Japanese guy getting out here and going, I'm not a racist, I just like Japan. In fact, you wouldn't get it from an English-speaking Japanese, but I bet if I spoke perfect Japanese, as Jared Taylor does, I bet you would go up to like a Japanese guy my age and go, I heard you were racist, and he'd probably go, yeah. Hope so, I'm Japanese. So you hate Koreans and everyone, you think they're less than you? Yeah. Are you having a stroke? Or Mexicans even. I heard you hate black people and you don't want your daughter marrying them. Yeah. What, is this a trick question? Whereas a white guy would be so mortified, and the irony of us always having to tiptoe around is that we're actually the least racist, homophobic, xenophobic, blah, blah, blah. Move around. And I don't mean white people per se. Look, I'm already apologizing. But Westerners, Western culture, the West in general, is a meritocracy. It's just baseball, coast to coast. And if you can throw a fastball at 100 miles an hour, you're in. I don't care what you look like. We're kind of greedy in that sense. Like the whole concept of racism where you go, hey, I'm just checking out your resume here. It says that you can save my company $80 million a year. Oh my God. And you're only charging $1 million. Sounds like we're gonna be, ew. You're Filipino. I feel gross that I touched your resume. Because you touched it with your weird little Southeast Asian rice hands. Get him out of here. Security! But it makes us easy prey, as Pat Buchanan talks about in Death of the West, for the hucksters who want to see us dance. I mean, there's just something about Westerners where we do all this good, we deliver all this freedom, and then someone shoots at our feet and we just go, oh, sorry, I'm dancing, don't be mad. And I think one of the reasons Trump was successful is he said, you know what, be mad. I really feel like that was a massive turning point when he was saying anchor baby.
Yes.
And someone said, excuse me. He said, why are you saying anchor baby? He's probably lived here for 40 years. And Trump said, what? That's the best thing about him, too. Who are you? Remember one time someone yells out, we love you, and he goes, I love you too. He goes, wait a minute, that's a guy. He was running for president, everyone's hanging on his every word, he's like, this guy's a fag. You love me, you want to make out with me? I don't love you, homo! No, I do, I like you, but don't say that, that's gay. It's Archie Bunker. And so he says to the guy, what do you want? What should I say? It's talking the way you would talk in a bar. I mean, that's what I love about Ann Coulter. Everyone's ears burn off when she says something, but you realize that's how you talk in a bar. Sure. Our blacks are better than their blacks. She's saying that we own slaves. No, she's saying that our blacks have to argue with their relatives at Thanksgiving, so their arguments are more thorough. They've been hammered out. They're like Rocky. They've been bashed around a few times, so they've done their research. So he said, and he hadn't thought of it, of course. And isn't that sort of the crux of the left? This was a real major turning point for me. It's when I fell madly in love with him in a gay way. Because I thought, this is everything, this one moment. The left wants to sabotage the West, blow it up, just burn it to the ground. Or, okay, Marxists, here's the government. What are you going to do? Maybe she be the undocumented baby born of unnaturalized citizen parents that are making love until a baby comes out of them and then the baby's there? And Trump interrupts him halfway through his crazy long 7-word thing and he goes, yeah, I'm gonna do anchor baby. So, the crux of my speech today, which is a 4-hour speech, I hope you guys brought sleeping bags. Yeah, just ignore it. The whole concept of ideas. You see, the right has been vilified to the point of we're pariahs, especially in New York. I mean, I'm sure south of the Mason-Dixon line, my God, it must be heaven. But here, we're gays in the 50s. And I even have a gay bar. Yeah, I just moved to Westchester, which is all Hillary. It's brutal. Women wearing those stupid pussy hats. And I just want to go, you have a dirty joke on your head. He's not legislating grabbing female genitalia. He was joking, and you have it on your head, because you pretend it's going to become law. Gee, Trump won Hong Kong to Tokyo. What world do you live in? Even if he did say, hey, guess what? You can grab anything that you like. Okay. Hey, Trump said. Now I'm bleeding. We're having a feminist march. No pro-lifers are allowed, but we have a Muslim who wants Sharia law, which is about as pro-life as you can get. She was married off by her parents at 16, but she'll be telling you about freedom, like putting a polyester rag on your head to somehow empower you. And then my favorite part of that, by the way, was men. I want to get involved. Okay, you put on a hijab, which is total blasphemy in Islam. So like, even in your own world, you're screwing it up. And then the LGBT community, yay, we love Sarsoor, we want Sharia law, we want marriage rape to not exist and for women's votes to be worth half in a court of law. Yeah, woman power. Remember in Iran in '79 how thrilled they were to wear the hijab. Like, finally, I can get rid of that stupid miniskirt and that car I was driving to my chemistry class and focus on what really matters, cooking in a black polyester bag. Thanks, imams. Oh, and I like the whipping when you can see my bangs. I'm a naughty girl. You saw some of my socks. Whoops. Santa. I was thinking Marilyn Monroe. And then of course they have that woman up who raped a gay man to death. Prisoners, hey, LGBTQ, I'm a woman too. Prisoners' rights. Didn't you sodomize a man with an iron bar until you eviscerated him?
Yeah.
That seems a little harsh. Like, there's gay bashing, and then there's basically what they did in Germany in the year 50. But you see those Iron Maidens and stuff? Like, unfathomable torture. She goes, I knew he was gay, giggled. That's literally what she said. So those are those heroes, and this is the problem with giving the left this power. When you say, all right, I'll sabotage myself, I'm the gross cis male patriarchy, what do you want it to be? Undocumented citizens of babies that are born that are having troubles that are pretty good people? That takes too long to say. Right. So you have a group of lunatic Marxists that want to censor everything, and under the guise, by the way, of we don't want to give Nazis a platform. Give Nazis a platform. Let them go nuts. What are they going to do? We need to start a new Nazi party in America to kill the Jews. No. Please? No, that's homicidal, insane, no. Okay, bye. That's the end of that scourge. That's the end of that imminent plague that was about to take over the country. I know trans people and gays who are at home right now scared of being killed. What? That wasn't a science fiction movie you'd go, this is lame. Why is he killing them? It doesn't make any sense. Where does he put the bodies? I'm not watching this. No, that's America. So, the problem with zealots, which is what the left has become, just fascist zealots, that's the irony, is they're fighting against the dogma that they represent. They don't want a Q&A. They don't want to give free speech a platform. Free speech doesn't include hate speech, blah, blah, blah. No, free speech is just for who's better, Rolling Stones or the Beatles. That's all it is. Anything controversial isn't included. And obviously it's the Stones. The Beatles are children's music. Rocky Raccoon. And I saw this in Canada recently. So we had a talk up there, a free speech talk, lots of Proud Boys there. Union guys were on Antifa's side. And it was speeches just about freedom of speech, about Canada, about the trouble with Islam. And there's all these Antifa kids there who think they're fighting Nazis. Just to sort of go off on my 30-second tangent, the Freedom Riders did us a disservice because they looked too cool. They had on suits, and then they're all bloody and bandaged. And everyone who sees that goes, I want to be that guy. I mean, I feel it too. You went to cafes through the South, and you got beat up in a suit. You're a badass. And they had that was an honorable fight back then. But it looked so cool that now everyone wants to be that guy. Like, I want to go to the South and get beat up. You know, no one cares anymore. Well, then you're a Nazi. Beat me up. All right. There, look, I'm all bloody like the guy in the black and white photo. But Antifa was there to stop this thing, and the police roped them off. And we noticed something unusual going on. That extremist Muslims had leaked into Antifa and the protesters. And my brother described something that really shocked me, and it was a 5-year-old kid, Arab looking, holding a sign that said, "Death to Pepe." And Pepe was hanged. If it's a thing, it's hung. If it's a person, it's hanged. What is it if it's a frog who's been anthropomorphized? It's hanged. Pepe's hanged, and this kid's walking around, no idea. 5-year-olds don't hate Pepe, believe me. And he's walking around, and he noticed a lot of young people on the front lines. And he realized that the extremist Islamicists had infiltrated Antifa and were there trying to pick a fight with them. It gets worse. They also, the way it happened was they barricaded them off into a sort of a cage, and they did their talks, and then they said, Antifa surrounded the cage, and they did this to us in Berkeley too. It's weird. The police, I love the cops, but I hate the police's boss. And what they did to us in Berkeley is they stripped us of all our weapons, including shields and other stuff. And then we did the talk nude, with our heads shaved. I'm for free speech. It's freezing out here. And then, as we left, we were attacked by these armed Antifa guys that obviously weren't stripped, and they were throwing bottles, and they were throwing M80s, and Lauren Southern described seeing people dragged into the crowd, and they're putting a bag over their heads. Wow. So now they want to murder them? But at this Ottawa thing, the police said, okay, you can only leave in twos, because I don't want to fight. And they had, these Nazis, by the way, were being surrounded by the Jewish Defense League, who were on our side, because they like free speech, and blacks and white. They're always more multicultural on the Nazi side than they are on the anti-Nazi side. And they were leaving in twos, and as these people were leaving in twos, they get attacked by the mob. They were being fed by the police to these lunatics. And one of them had a knife. So he came out, and we've seen this more than once. There was a knife in Berkeley, and he had a knife in Ottawa. We'll be hearing more about him in the news soon. So one of these Soldiers of Odin kids goes against the cops' wishes, jumps the fence, grabs this guy, knocks him out. It was a beautiful piece of work. And they get the knife, he's arrested. He's going to be charged with attempted murder. And my brother's contention is what's happening now is extremists from the extremist Muslims are being drawn into Antifa because it's a way to get martyrdom. It's a way to become a hero and stab one of these evil right-wing Christian monsters. And I remember about 3 years ago, I used to make that analogy just to be funny and hyperbolic, and I go, they're basically ISIS. I don't mean literally, but yeah, I think it's a fun analogy. Now I go, they're basically ISIS. I'm not kidding anymore.